Why do a lot of businesses not take Amex? And if you're a business owner, should you take Amex? First and foremost, of course, American Express, but if you do have a card, you know they charge a fee and everything. But for businesses, they're considerably more expensive than the alternatives of Visa and MasterCard. For example, Amex can charge anywhere between 1.5% to 3.5% per transaction, as opposed to Visa and MasterCard, who charge somewhere between 0.2 to 0.7, depending on how many transactions you do. So the question you got to ask yourself as a business owner is actually worth it? Because if you imagine, if someone spends £30 in your restaurant, in your business, in your cafe, £1 of it, at least £1 is going to Amex itself, just in the card transaction, which for a lot of people is very expensive. So why do businesses actually do it, and is it worth it? So for example, in the case of Park Covent Garden and City Spice in Brick Lane, in these London-based restaurants, very heavy in tourist footfall and also very heavy in corporate footfall in terms of corporate and business spending, you do need Amex. For example, I get a lot of phone calls asking, do you take Amex? Do you take Amex? And it's solely because all of these businesses, they do their expenses through Amex. And it's the same for tourists. American Express in the US market is very, very big compared to in Europe. As a result, a lot of American diners, a lot of Canadian diners do use Amex. So when they come out to spend, because they get all these perks, you know, the luxury dining, the lounges, all of these things that you get with your Amex card, they want to spend their Amex in other places too. But why actually is Amex pretty much 5 times or 10 times the cost of Visa and MasterCard? Well, the reason is this, is for them, they act as the payment issuer and also the network itself. Whereas with Visa and MasterCard, they're pretty much only the payment gateway. Amex do a whole host of things. Plus, they also market themselves as like the luxury upmarket choice, where you get these perks, where you get these points, where you get, you know, all these privileges that you would get that you don't get with Visa and MasterCard. And of course, there's also that element of prestige. I mean, it's also become a meme these days where do you take Amex as like almost like a reference to the fact that you have an Amex card that you're able to afford and have the privilege of the Amex card. But the question is, as a business owner, should you take Amex? There's 2 things you got to look at. Number 1, what is your margins? Number 2, where are you? If you're a cafe based in the suburbs, you don't really need to take Amex. Those people will have a Visa and MasterCard. It's very unlikely you're going to get corporate bookings, and the level of tourists you're going to get in the area is also going to be very minimal. However, if you're in a central based location, or if you charge like a premium for your services, for example, let's say you're in a luxury concierge company, you do need Amex because your clients are going to want to use Amex.